Hi everyone. Okay, so it's later. It's 10:28 and I just finished Dark Prince by Kristin Feehan, the first book in the Dark series, or her Carpathian series, however you want to say it. Both work. You say it's the Dark series. This is what it is officially called, but it's also referred to as the Carpathian series because this is the only time where her Carpathians are actually come about. There's a prequel to one of the Dark books, and it's called the Scarletti Curse, but that's still part of the Dark series, and that's the only other time that Carpathians are involved. Everything else is like something else, not part of this. And I enjoyed this. Again, this is a reread for me, but I can't remember if I actually read this or if this came off, both of them. If I read this or I listened to it on audiobook, and this would have been like a single voice actor voicing this, which would have been sad, but still really great. And I enjoyed this. Mikhail and Raven are not my favorite characters. Like, Mikhail is like okay. Again, with Carpathian males, it is, very right from the get-go of the beginning of any book you read, is that they can be quite dominant and overprotective and be like, you stay home, you stay safe, you take care of the kids, you just be happy, and just don't, you basically, they don't really want their women to do anything, but at the same time they want them to be happy. So it's a little difficult because like they're a bit arrogant, they're a little domineering just because of like one, like I don't know, but he's not the most obstinate, overbearing, domineering character of the males. I haven't read his, but Grigori is like one of the most like, my woman will obey me no matter what. But the other males, they haven't read many of them, and other stuff that I've read, I don't fully remember their stories. But he is not my favorite character. I do insanely love this series, like I love a bunch of them, but yeah. And I have no faults for this book, but I can see where people would be like, there are faults with this. One being, there are some info dumping, but you have to realize this is the first book in a series, and this started the whole thing. But it has like 100 extra pages that had to be removed with the original book. But there is, to get to my point, people would say like there is quite a bit of like info dumping at times, but you have to realize that first in a series, she needed to establish their world, not exactly the rules of Carpathians, but the way the male Carpathians are and the way they act, and how like specifically with Mikhail, how they react to their women and the women that they have, like the males in his species and his community, how they react to Raven, one being his life mate, and two, the fact that she's now a part of their society and how they treat their women. There are two women in here that you meet like briefly, like twice, but they're already established in this, and those are actual real Carpathians. Raven, I don't want to say too much, but she is Mikhail's life mate, and they have done stuff, but it's not worked in the past. But maybe Raven is going to pull through, and you have to read it to find out why. And that was very bad at alluding, and I don't know how to say it without blatantly saying it, because I don't want to blatantly say what happens. And the that's just the big thing, the big info dumping of like all that. I'm tired and I kind of want to go to bed. But yeah, that's the one big thing. Like there is info dumping, and I can see people not liking that. But you have to understand, this is a first book. You're establishing a lot of stuff that you need to know within the other stuff of the series. Like in the other books, they do touch back on like the way the Carpathian males are when they meet their life mate and how they treat women, and the fact that they've lived for like thousands upon thousands of years, such like that. But this probably is the most that you're going to get. I believe I had one other fault, but I don't remember. That like this is what people coming into this series not knowing, because I didn't read this first. This was not my first book. My first book was one of the books within the series. It was Dark Curse, which is like book 22 or something. It's 20 books into the series roughly. Yeah. The other thing maybe is how overbearing, domineering, just Mikhail's personality when you first meet him. Like, he's a lovely character, but just the way he treats women and like the old worldly feel that he has towards women at first, and some of the males as well. They have this like old world arrogance and dominance over them, especially in like Europe. Europe back in the day was very like, I'm guessing, and what I read from this was like the woman sometimes is treated stupidly, and like the men say like, oh, you just shut up and make babies, make me food, be ready to have sex with me, or and all that such, and you're not allowed to have a real life sort of thing. But they do grow throughout their lifespan and have some growth in their personality, but when you first meet them, they have like this arrogance of like, I'm gonna make you happy, like your happiness is my number one thing, but you have to be protected, you have to obey me and do what I say, blah blah blah. And I like Raven, and she's I'm sorry, I just did something right before making this video and I'm like, brain does not function, brain does not compute. I am really sorry. And it's not the tiredness, it's just I did something and I'm like, all the energy is drained out of me now. I'm sorry. But Raven is, I feel, out of what I remember, which is bad, that she is sort of a good representation of, you know, a human coming into the Carpathian world and learning its values, its rules, the way their men are, and how they treat their women, and all the whole life mate thing, and all that stuff. Like, I feel like she's a good representation, also, but with also bleh, swollen tongue, but with also being a very complex character at the same time. Like, she's not your average human being, but she represents the average human being being brought into this world and seeing the darkness of the Carpathian males to their women being their light, and how there's this violent beast in Carpathian males, and sometimes they are ruthless and they are just savage and can be very scary, as Raven comes to find out. But yeah, I'm sorry, I'm being very bad at this. I don't have anything bad to say, but I'm trying to be good at describing how someone coming into this series and these books for the first time, and what negative stuff they might feel and be, and like, I feel very good representation of like the average person being introduced to this. Like, the rest of the females again are like an average introduction into the Carpathian world, but there are more complexities to the growing books and the different females. As I said, Raven I feel is a good representation of like just an full introduction of this. Now, Carpathians can shapeshift and change into different shapes and all that. That wasn't very well represented with Raven and her introduction to it. Like, we see it a bunch of times with the males, they do it with ease, but there is one time where Raven does it, and I don't feel it's properly described and represented of like how an average person would feel about like shape-shifting. There is another book that I read in this series, I can't remember which one, but that I feel is that one that I eventually will read, and I hopefully will remember to tell you that that book is a proper representation of how a woman coming into the Carpathian world and learning of how to shapeshift and about the shapeshifting part of their powers and that stuff. So yeah. Other than that, I love this book. I love this series, and there's sex. There's like at least five sex scenes where it's just, it's good. It's yummy. And it's especially yummy when you listen to the dual narrator audiobooks. Not all of them are dual narrators. And I recommend wholeheartedly to listen to the dual narrators. Because you've got the male and the female, and the male, especially the male is doing all of this Carpathian accents and oh my god, it's like sex in my ears, and it's just orgasmic, and it feels so yummy. Like there's two different guys, because it's not the same guy and it's not the same female, but the guys, oh my god. Because like one book may have one guy and another book will have a different guy, but they both are yummy. They are fucking yummy. They're so good. And I'm just sad that it's not on all the books, because all the books are on audio, but not all of them are dual narrator. And you have to listen to the new dual narrator, because it represents this so much, and it makes the sex scenes really great, and especially when they're talking. So yummy. Yes. So yeah, I love this book just for the sheer fact that there is 5 sex scenes, like full sex scenes, where they start with foreplay and then they end with like exploding climax. Like, it is detailed to make me feel, oh. Yes, I'm basically describing porn. Like, it's not this is not categorized as an erotic book. There are erotic books. I have an erotic novel, but this is not an erotic novel. This is a romance novel. It is where is it? A darker paranormal romance subgenre, quoted from the library journal. And it's fucking good. It is amazing. Like, yeah. The erotic novel has like the words penises and vagina and like stuff like that, whereas this, it's more eloquent and romantical and a little more sensual, rather than like, this is fucking good porn. But it's basically porn when you read the sex scenes, but they're fucking good. This is the epitome of a good romance novel where the sex scenes are great. Now, most romance novels, I only expect to have like maybe 2, maybe 3 fully good sex scenes, but this, at least 5. Like, one of them is not all that long, because of just the situation. It's not very long, but the majority of these sex scenes are like drawn out. They're like 7 pages almost. So yummy. So So I recommend this book, I recommend this series. Just be warned that the first book at least, there is quite a bunch of info dumping. Like, even if you read the original print that they did back in 1999, because back in 1999, content was cut to reduce the length. Now, for the first time, the author's original version is available here in special print hardcover. Yeah, this novel with 100 fewer pages was the author's first book. Sorry, I read that backwards. But yes, you read the author cut or the original one that had 100 pages fewer. It's great. But there's still, just be warned that there's still that info dumping if you read the original. And just be forewarned about that, because again, this is the beginning of a series and has to establish a world, and it's not like the full world. Like, this is just establishing the Carpathians as whatever, but you get more information as the story continues. Yes, and I recommend the entire series. I actually recommend Kristin Feehan very much. I've only read her Dark series. I have one of her Sisters of Seven or Seven Sisters, one of her other series that involves like Sisters of Seven, and it's the Christmas one. There's not very many Christmas ones. There is a Christmas one for this series, and it is Dark Celebration, but there's one, it's not even a dark series, it's just a normal modern day series, but it's a Christmas book. And it's got the cover I have, it's got a glow, it's a snow globe, like a Christmas snow globe. But yeah, oh my god, I'm blathering on. So, to get back to my point of, my line, thought point, is I recommend this book, I recommend this series. Just read it, it is good, especially if you like reading sexy books, that you like getting turned on by the sexiness and sex, and it just feels good. I recommend it. And if you like this very weird, like, review, it's a long review, but if you liked it, hit that like button down below and leave comments if you've read this series, how you liked it, what is your favorite dark Carpathian novel. Mine is Dark Slayer. Rasvan, oh Rasvan. And that is a reread. Well, technically my first time, I actually listened to it on audio tape with the dual audio. God, beautiful. But it will be a reread for me, actually reading the book and not listening to it. That is my favorite book. That is my favorite male Carpathian. He is my absolute favorite. For right now, my first favorite was the Carpathian male from Dark Curse, because that was my first book. But Dark Slayer, oh my god, I love him so much. I don't want to tell you why I love him so much. I will tell you why I love him so much in the Dark Slayer book review, when I get to it, which is in the 20s. And you can just tell me in the comments below how you like how you like the series, what's your favorite book, maybe like who's your favorite Carpathian male, because, you know, we love Carpathian males. And I don't really have a favorite female, because I think a few of them, a small few, are actually born Carpathian females, like our female in Dark Magic. I won't get to that because that's book 4 and I'm only going to be on book 2, but she is she's a born Carpathian, not a human. But I think there are a very small few born Carpathians and the rest of them are humans. So yeah, just tell me in the comments below all of that such. And don't be negative, don't be nasty, because we do not need that in the world. And I know people are going to be like, why are you reading porn? That's just stupid. That's stupid literature. It's not. It's good. There are
people in this world that love this stuff, and they're not stupid, and they're not lonely. I have a boyfriend, and he satisfies me really well, okay? But these are just really good, okay?
And if this is the first time you're watching my videos, please hit that big red subscribe button down there by my picture for more book reviews, hauls, unboxing, unbagging, because some things come in a bubble wrap manila envelope or plastic bag wrap thingy. Vlogmas, random vlogs, and random videos. I have no idea where to categorize. Alright. Wait. Hold the phone. I forgot to do something. This is my next book. Jesus. This is my own book. It is Dark Desire by Kristin Feehan. And this is, like, I have a mixture of, like, hardcovers and, like, mass-bound paperbacks. And it may look a little weird just because it got some water damage on it, but that's fine. I don't really care. It's still good. And this is going to be my next book, but part of my Graham series, like the Shannon Drake series, that is for some reason on hold. I don't know how, but it's and it's at a different, going to a different library for some reason. And also, it's under a different name, author name, which is weird. It is the same plot line, the same name, but for some reason, she put it under a different name. I don't know why. But it may come Tuesday, because it's like, there's someone else reading it. I'm number one. I'm going to get it when it is returned, but I don't know if it's going to get returned in time. So I am going to read the back here, but I'm not going to start reading it until Tuesday because it may come in and I get my dad to take me to the library Tuesday after McDonald's. So I will see Tuesday if I'm going to start reading this, because that I have to get my laptop out because that has all my video stuff. My tower doesn't have that. So we shall see what I start reading Tuesday, if I start reading this. I think I read that in a week. I think I did. If I did, I will make sure to let myself know. Like, I will put it here in the video, but I'll have to make sure I write it down in the document when I open my laptop tomorrow and put you there. But I'm going to read the back of this now, because just in case. They were masters of the darkness, searching through eternity for a mistress of the light. Strangers silently summoned her from across the seas, whispering of eternal torment, of endless hunger, of dark, dangerous desires. And somehow, American surgeon Shay O'Halloran, oh my god, I can't pronounce her last name, she's Irish, but she's born in America, because I do remember the series. I don't remember this book. I don't remember if I read it or listened to it, but I do remember that she is Irish, hence her name, but she's American, but whatever. Could feel his anguish, sensing his haunting aloneness. Drawn to the far my tongue is swollen. Too swollen to talk. Drawn to the far Carpathian mountains, she found a ravaged, raging man, a being like no other, and she trembled, for in his burning eyes she recognized the beloved stranger who'd already become a part of her. Oh my god, that is just some not grammar right there. But was she to be his healer or his prey? Oh my gosh. I'm gonna read this too, this little thing. This is not part of it, but I'm gonna read it here. Dear reader, I drafted the first chapter of Dark Desire over and over from every point of view imaginable, but no matter how hard I tried to tell this story, Jacques was not a No, I'm not going to include this. So you're not going to find out who the male is until, like, I give you the book review. 'Cause, yeah, I don't know why. They don't say his name. But she says his name in this, like, Dear Reader thing, which I don't want to read to you. I'll read that to myself later. It's this thing here, so you're gonna find out who the male is. Choose love. He came out of the night, so beautifully male he took her breath away. His black eyes moved over her possessively, curiously predatory. He was not human. He was Carpathian, of the earth. He could command the wind, run with the wolves, soar with the owl, become one with the rain itself. Choose life for us, Shay, he said. For our children. I will not be easy to live with, but I swear to you, no one could love you more. I will do anything to make you happy. Now, in my head, when I'm reading the male parts, and especially when they're speaking, I try to put in my brain the audiobook male narrator in my head because it's so fucking good. And sometimes it works, sometimes it's a little difficult. And I just tried to speak like that, but I'm not, because I'm just gonna fail horribly and not going to give you what is good. You just have to listen to the audiobooks. And I will put in the description which books are dual authors. Not authors, dual narrators. And I think I will put in the link below the Audible, from the Audible website, the links to each of those books so that you can either buy it yourself. I am a member of Audible, and I'm only buying those books because I'm not that, but they are fucking sexy, as I said earlier. So yeah, Shay shook her head. I'm not strong enough, Jacques. I can't do this. You are just afraid. His voice was soft. She felt it on her very skin, as if his fingertips were skimming over satin in the lightest caress. Jacques stepped closer, his dark eyes intense. Show me now, Shay. Need me. Want me. Love me. Choose life for us. Yes, that's that. It's not as sexy or as romantic or all that such, but it is good. It is good when you actually read it as part of the actual book. It's good. And there's no prologue, so I'm gonna find a list. There's only 18 chapters, but these chapters in here, I had a different bookmark in here, and this first chapter was fucking thick. It was like I was having a difficult time sticking it in there. So yeah, I really want to start reading this, but I don't know if it's gonna come in trans. You know what? I think I took a week with the first one in the series, so bullshit it all. I'm going to start reading this because I literally feel like I read Dark Prince in a week, and I read, crap, what is that book called? Come the Morning by Shannon Drake. I know, it's a very sexual title, but I feel like I read that also in a week. So, yeah. I'm gonna start reading this, but I think I will pick up Come the Morning. No, not Come the Morning. Seize the Dawn. It's book 3 of that series, but sadly, book 2 was non-existent in any library, so I gotta settle for book 3. But I'm gonna start reading this because I want to read this. I've been dying to start reading Kristin's books, and I want to get all of the books from there. I want to put them down there on my nightstand but no, I have a bunch of books there, but I have a lot of these books, and I might just read these really fast. I don't know, but I have other books that need to be done. So anyway, this is going to be a really long video. It's probably going to be a 30-minute video, because right now it's like 45 minutes roughly. Well, almost 45 minutes, because like I had 19 minutes with the previous clip and about 15 minutes with this clip, so yeah. I can't wait to, like, this is another reread for me, but it is going to be a first time on here, because doing this helps, you know, work that whole thing out and get to those over there, because yeah, look, there's only one book sitting there behind my mom's picture, but like that whole column is gone. So yeah, that's that.